Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It is April 24th, 2025. The time is 7:48 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I've got a few messages for you. Interrogations are occurring, and apparently this thing that has been going on is called a lifetime show. So there's something about MANZ, M-A-N-Z. This refers to a specialized or elite unit of orcs, particularly those skilled in close combat. Orcs are savage, warlike, green-skinned, asexual species of humanoids, and they're spread throughout the galaxy. They are known for their brutality, crude nature, and overwhelming numbers. So these friends of the Curator, as I've come to know him, this person who buys and sells the commodity of self-replicating batteries, otherwise known as human beings, they want to latch onto someone's energy, these potent battery sources. They need to transport them with their technology so that they can obtain it and then utilize it in a defense or to empower whatever it is that they want to empower in this war. So the insides were getting a little shaky, like they were trying to alter frequency and such. So they're playing with this alteration of an individual's frequency, trying to latch onto it and then transport it. I don't know if this is clever or not, but I tend to alter my frequency frequently. I visit the dark side. I vibe high. I kind of climb and then descend upon the ladder of my energetic movement, and I stay in flow and I move. So it's kind of difficult for me, you know, and then also they want to latch on with a DEW and then alter the frequency. And this is where you go ground and you do other things to transmute that energy before they can do anything with it. Trial and error, trial and error. So they're having to make a choice. They've got to pick a sacrifice. And then I got the next page. So there was a masculine who came to me in the dream state. He had this very long folding bar, and on this folding bar there were other bars that were protruding horizontally out of it. So he needed it folded out horizontally, and then the other bars protruded out the back of this bar, and they needed to be matched up with some other bars that were already standing, and then there needed to be bolts screwed into it to hold it together. So he was asking me for help. So I was helping him. And while I was helping him, the energy of my heart space received some ick, an obvious energetic attack. And, you know, it didn't feel like fear. It just felt like it was an attack of some other energy that was pretty big. So the heart space had to expand and then encompass that energy, right, to transmute it. So then the ick energy grew, and it kept trying to expand into my heart space, and then my heart space kept expanding out and then encompassing this and then bringing it back in. So, you know, and I continued to help while this was going on. And then eventually it stopped, and this fellow gave up on his project. So then I go back to this other page, because that's when somebody said, she's Eris's daughter. And they're kind of laughing with each other. There were at least two fellows there, and they were kind of laughing. And one of the masculines said, the wrath of God is upon them. Now, Eris is the god of war. See, these people wanted revenge. They were coming after the children of these mythological gods and goddesses for revenge. They shut down these children born of a golden egg in every way that they possibly could. shutting down their third eye, their connections to source, to their heavenly mother, father. Like they really burnt the bridge, so to speak, for the original. And then they dressed up in the energy and the memories. And then they kind of took over that role and pretended that they were that. And they were defiling themselves with this orgy magic and then doing magic and blood sacrifices and all of that. And they were vilifying the actual children of these so-called mythological gods and goddesses. This is a humongous family of powerful beings that they told everybody were all gone. And they really did think that they had gotten rid of them all. But a few of your originals, children's, popped up out there, and you were able to connect this bridge and be seen by your actual family. So these violators, these those sellers, curators of the commodity of the self-replicating battery called human being, they've been targeting the so-called mythological gods' children for centuries now, violating them, harming them egregiously, calling themselves conquerors. They make movies out of it called a Lifetime show, and then they watch them and they laugh and they tell themselves how powerful they are. They brag. But the bridged connections were restored, and it was all fun and games until the myths came alive. So the divine stated the other day, if you want to live in a world of violence, then a world of violence you shall have. This could have been Ares. This god of war is delivering it to them, returning, so to speak, their intentions. So remember that this is a very, very large family of a higher vibration, and their children were kind of held prisoner here by an infiltrator who plays the game of divide and conquer by severing the actual true bridged connections and then kind of playing with that. These are false leaders, and they call it divide and conquer. So they destroyed or replaced the consciousness and connections of the true divine children through what? Something called a soul transfer. They would walk into these bodies, take over the mind, and then drive it like a car, an electric car. So they pretended to be these ones, and they created illusions of these children as vile while wearing their energy and doing heinous things. So again, with the heart space in this astral experience, how it was expanding around this other energy that was trying to infiltrate it. This transmutation, this alchemy. Now I lived in many years, many moments throughout the day, having to deny them the opportunity of taking my soul because I didn't want to give it up. And they always asked for it. And it was great darkness and great suffering while they were mentally raping me and energetically siphoning me and, sticking pins and knives and dragging hot blades through the heart and all this stuff in the astral. Many of you have had experiences like this. But we found out that when the darkness comes, the inner light must be expanded. So while they're draining the energy, they take like 50% and they make you fat and they make you sick and they make you lethargic. But many of you, obviously, if you're still here, you learned to expand the inner light regardless. So you had to amp up your energy production because they kept taking it from you. So then when the feeding tube or whatever it was that had given them access was removed, your energy production had been increased. It had to be, and you had to practice it a long time. And just because the feeding tube was removed doesn't mean that energy production slowed. So you gathered your energy very quickly and you became this beautiful bright star or sun, shining brightly, calling in the mythological parents, so to speak. I'm here. So these ones, these enemies of the children of the so-called mythological gods and goddesses, they really opened up a can of worms that they were not expecting. They love him, they said. So there are some people out there, they love this person, this Ares, a father of one of the daughters. So apparently this was some sort of a test, some sort of ingenuity. Who is the most clever? Who is the most clever god? It's a game, so to speak. But, you know, it wasn't supposed to quite go like this. So who is the most clever? Who is the original? And who is inventive? So that would be you, children. You are very spontaneous. You have learned to take different directions wherever you're going. You change your mind frequently. You may buy a ticket to go somewhere, get there, and decide that's not for you that day, and just bag it and go do something else. So you are not traceable, trackable. Your routine isn't steady. You're constantly mixing it up. And you do this in all ways with all things, including the way that you manage your energy production and flow. So they can't really latch onto you or get an idea, because sometimes you're the rapids and sometimes you're just the shallows, you know? And you just never know which one's going to pop up. Anyway, that's what I've got for you this morning. It's pretty fantastic. We've got, it's a lifetime show. They've been filming the suffering of the children of these so-called mythological gods and goddesses, and then calling themselves powerful and conquerors of the divine. See you on the next one.